Hi everyone, welcome to my weekly Bobcast. And since it's my weekly Bobcast, you know what day it is, you know what time it is, you know where I'm at. So let's just get started and get right into this thing tonight. I'm glad to see everyone. Thanks for being on tonight. Title of the Bobcast, which I always read to you and you can see yourself, is What Do You Think of You? What do you think of you? It's a very important question. It's actually the most important question that I've ever asked you folks. Okay? I've talked in the past at length about goals, about knowing what your goals are, about going after your goals, about knowing why you want those things. Okay? But I have to say that there's probably nothing that factors into your success or failure as much as how you see yourself, So what do you think of you? Hi, Coach Mo. That's the other half of the Buff and Mo show. Thanks for getting on. So what do you think of yourself? This is what I'm talking about. So when I talk about goals, about knowing your why, about doing those kind of things, all very important, right? But there's another aspect of that we've not talked about, and it goes along with what I said about nothing factoring in to your success or failure as much as what you think of yourself. And that is not only do you need those goals, not only do you need that why, excuse me, I still have a little bit of a throat issue. Not only do you need those goals and those whys, but what you also need to be able to do is you have to be able to visualize yourself having already succeeded. For example, I've talked in the past about writing your goals out. I've also talked about doing a dream or goal board. And that's simply taking pictures of things, places, situations that you want to accomplish, because that takes your goal or your dream to another level, being able to visualize it. There's another level. Hi, Stacy and Dawn. There's another level of things that you can do when it relates to that. And this is all related to how you see yourself. Because if you cannot visualize yourself, for example, driving that car that you want, or living in that house or that city or whatever it is that you want, or owning or being that person that you want. With my weight loss and wellness clients, most of the time, I have them take a picture of themselves from back when they weighed what they want to weigh again, or how they looked, or fitness-wise. And I have them posted on their bathroom mirror so they can see it every day, so they can visualize themselves that way again. So here's a couple little tricks you can do. Not only dream and goal boards are important, but what about if you went out and took a test drive in that car or truck or motorcycle that you want to own, that you dream about? What if you actually went and took a test drive in it, took a picture of yourself in it, had someone take a picture of you sitting in it? What if you went to an open house and it was the kind of house that you want to own? Bob Dog. Hi, Kim. What if it was the kind of house you want to own? There's an open house somewhere and you go and you walk around that house. Maybe you have, again, a picture taken of yourself standing out on the lawn in front of that house. Or what if you went to that city or had pictures of yourself there? See, these things are all very, very important, because I've struggled with that in one aspect of my life. There's really not many things I don't think I can do. There's always been one area, and it's because I've never been able to actually picture myself or visualize myself in that situation. So it's never happened. But like I said, what you think of yourself is going to determine your success or failure. Okay? I'm going to stop real quick, tell everybody how to reach out to me like I do every week. On Facebook, it's Bob Norman. My business page is Buff Monkey Marketing. On Twitter, it's at Buff_Monkey. On Instagram, it's Buff_Monkey. My email address is Buff_Monkey at Reagan BigNorm.com. Sorry, still having the throat thing. On, excuse me, and on YouTube, my channel is Big Norm 1963. So as always, I ask everyone to reach out to me, message me, email me, topic suggestions, feedback on the broadcast or the Bobcast, comments, whatever you want. I'm getting a ton of feedback, like I tell you all the time, and topic suggestions, which I greatly appreciate. And the other thing I'd love for you to do is to please share these Bobcasts with your friends so we can try to help some folks. So let's get back to that. Here's what I used to tell my son growing up, and I know he got sick and tired of hearing it, but it's the absolute truth. Whatever you think, whether you think you can or whatever you think you can't, you're right. Example I used to tell people is I love to lift weights, or I used to love to lift weights heavy, and if you get on the weight bench and you don't think you can lift that weight, you might as well get up off the weight bench and go do something else, because you will not accomplish it, period. Okay? So whatever you think, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're absolutely right. Okay, so like I talked about dreams and goal boards and stuff, here's another thing. I talk about Dr. Eric Thomas all the time. Man, what a great motivator. I watch his videos every day, several times a day, to keep me going. What does he say in his video, the ones I post? You owe you. Okay? You owe you. So you have to get your head right if you're going to give yourself the things that you owe yourself. The other thing he says is that winners win and losers lose. And if you start to create yourself a mindset or a culture of losing or of being a victim, it's going to become a habit, and it's going to become who you are. You've got to think like a winner to be one. You've got to be able to visualize yourself as a winner. You've got to be able to visualize yourself in that car, in that house, with that woman or man. I wrote goals one time, and I described my perfect woman. And I swear to you, I ended up dating her. Didn't work out real well, but I ended up dating she looked exactly like that girl in my goals. So the attitude with which you approach any situation is most often going to determine your success or failure. Hi, Tony. Hi, Dawn. So what kind of an attitude? I just gave you the example of it being in the weight room. You get on the weight bench, you don't think you can lift the weight, get up and go do something else because you can't. Okay? So that attitude that you go into that situation with is what's going to determine whether you succeed or fail 99% of the time. I'll give you a couple quick examples. I told you there's only one area in my life that I've always kind of been doubtful about. But everything else, a couple months ago, my son, a deer jumped off the bank and landed on my son's car and busted up the front end really, really bad. And he didn't have full coverage insurance. So he's, what am I going to do, Dad? So, well, you're going to bring the car over here. We're going to get it towed over to my house. We're going to put it in my garage. We're going to pull the fenders and the hood and the grill and everything out of there, and we're going to put new ones on. I'd never done body work before. I'd never done that stuff before. But I was a machinist in the combat engineer unit in the Army. I have a couple of uncles that are incredible with cars, that have forgotten more than most mechanics know, who've taught me things over the years. So why can't I do this? Okay? So you go into a situation wondering if you can do it, or do you want just try and figure out how to do it? So that attitude that you take to every situation is going to determine your success or failure. The other thing I want to tell you is this. Everything you want to achieve, everything you want to accomplish, everything starts in here. Okay? Because, like I said, you have to be able to visualize it. You have to be able to see yourself, again, in that house, in that car, with that girl, with that guy, whatever it is. You've got to be able to see yourself actually doing it. And there are a ton of little tricks that I can teach you on how to correct that and how to correct things when you go into a situation and be totally prepared, that have to do with physiology, that have to do with motivation. If you want to message me, if you want to email me, if you have my phone number and you text me, I'll teach you some of those tricks. Some people think they sound silly, but they absolutely 100% work. They just do, because your mind is either your best weapon or your biggest enemy. Uh-oh, there's my girl Bombshell. I haven't seen you in a long time, Becky. Hope you're doing well. So like I said, everything that you want to achieve, accomplish, or have starts in here, okay? And you get to decide. See, our opinion of ourselves and our perspective about ourselves started out when we were kids, and it does get formed over the years by experiences, by how people treat you, by what things people say to you that mean something to you. But those are all things that you have control over. You can change those if you want to. Okay? So don't point fingers at someone else and blame your failure on someone else. It's up to you. See, today I was feeling a certain way about something. I was kind of doubtful about something. And wouldn't you know it, that I look on Facebook, I went to do some social media stuff, and a wonderful friend of mine, Stacy Marquardt, she lives down in North Carolina now. She said the other day she missed our philosophical talks, which I do too, because I hate those "what about this weather" talks. But she had posted the Marianne Williamson poem, Our Deepest Fear. It's my favorite poem ever. And it just so happens that she posted that at the time that I was having some doubt about something in myself. I read that, reached out to her, thanked her for it, and went on about going after something that I wanted, okay? The doubt left. So my point is that you have to get right in your head before you try to do anything if you want to succeed at that, okay? Absolutely. Remember what I told you, what I used to tell my son. Whatever you think, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're absolutely right. It all starts in here, folks. Your best weapon or your biggest enemy, the beautiful thing about it is you get to decide. And if it's not right, if you don't like you or you don't have a good opinion of you, change it. It's that simple. Get around successful people. Get around people that lift you up. Change your opinion of yourself, and you're going to change your whole life. Change your mindset, folks, because it all starts right in here. Everything you want starts right in here. I appreciate everybody being on. I gave you the addresses and the Facebook names and everything to reach out to me. But like I said, as always, I'm going to ask you to please share these posts with your friends, retweet them, go on to YouTube and check them out and share them on Facebook. Let's get the word out and let's start to help some people go after the things they want and realize their dreams and accomplish things that they want in life. Have a great evening, and I'll see everyone on my next Bobcast.